Well, hello, everybody. This is Tim, or for some of you, Mr. Connors, on our third Pretzel Pridecast. I am so happy tonight to be interviewing an author that's from Freeport, Illinois, and Freeport High School. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Standley's here today. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for
Good.
having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. Ryan, when did you graduate from Freeport High School?
Mm, long time ago, 1997.
Okay, 1997. And we're going to talk about the book in just a little bit, but were you born in Freeport or did you move to Freeport?
As far as I know, I was born in Freeport. I was actually born in Canton, Illinois, but I have no memory of it. We moved into my house on in Cherokee Hills there on Santa Fe when I was months old.
Okay.
So I have no recollection of anywhere but Freeport growing up.
Okay, and for the Freeport kids, after you graduated from Freeport High School, what did you do afterwards then to get to where you are now?
I went to University of Iowa. I was a theater major there. Did a lot of writing. Did a lot of fun stuff. Theater major was great. You got to do a little bit of everything, directing and even set design and stuff. It was great. And then I moved to California for 5 years and did a lot of bartending, waiting tables, stuff like that. And then I moved back to Chicago and started writing for newspapers. Started writing short stories online, started editing online, doing that sort of thing. And then I ended up in Boston. I've been here for 10 years now in Boston area.
So you started in newspapers and then you moved on to here. I have a funny story to tell you that just happened yesterday regarding you. It was on Facebook, and
Yeah.
I have this tree that has all of my musicals that I've directed for 31 years. The lady
Yeah.
Mrs. Goals makes them all. So it's on Facebook, and this foreign exchange student who lives in Australia still, her name is Megan Higgins. She sent the tree. She goes, "Hey mate, the tree is wonderful, but where's Lost in Yonkers? Remember the one that starred Ryan Standley? Great memories, huh?
Whoa,
How about that, huh?"
that's crazy. I remember Megan Higgins
Yes,
from Perth. Yeah.
yes, yes. The one who did a speech, Megan did a speech and showed pictures of when she was on the back of a motorcycle and a roo knocked her off a motorcycle, and the dead kangaroo and Megan right there. It's like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, she was great. We went to Winter Formal, I think. One of those years.
She remembered you, and it was just
yeah, she was awesome.
Yesterday.
That's great.
Yeah. So the more things change, the more they say the same.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's hard to believe Freeport is such a small town, but Facebook seems even smaller. You know what I'm saying? It really does.
Totally.
So, congratulations. You are an author. And I know you wrote for newspapers and things like that, but what made you decide, hey, I want to write a book?
Well, this is the third book that I've written. The first one was kind of like a I don't know, very angsty, very like a thriller, kind of violent, and that didn't really work out. The next one I wrote was about a girl that could fly. I kind of wrote that when my daughter was born, but that didn't work out either. And I tried to work these books out as best I could, but they didn't really speak to me. Like the flow wasn't there. And then one day, I was cooking dinner in the kitchen, and I heard this song on the radio. It was Ed Sheeran's song, "Castle on the Hill." I don't know if you're familiar with that guy.
Yeah.
And anyway, the song's all about like hanging out with his old buddies, messing around. And I started writing about Freeport and, a coming of age book of my own. And it just flew off the page. Like I couldn't stop typing. Like my fingers were just going nuts. And, the more I wrote, the more memories came out, and, a bunch of plot twists from like the other books that I've written. I knew how to like put some twists in there to keep everything interesting. But yeah, that's kind of how it came about.
So you said it just flowed off the page, but I mean, is it one of these things that you started it? How long did it take you from beginning to end with this book? Not only writing it, but from when you started it to when you had the copy in your hot little hands.
Yeah, it took 3 years. Like, I don't know, writing is pretty tough because it's rewriting. Like that first time when I was talking about like flowing off the page, that happened 3 years ago. But then you got to go back in. A lot of it has to be cut. A lot of it is just like you have to be in the flow, and you have to just get the words out, and it's just kind of like purging it out of you. And then I think I had, I don't know, 100,000 words. And it ended up getting cut down, cut down. You'd add more stuff to develop characters. The final cut is 68,000 words.
Wow.
Yeah, so it almost got it cut in half. But, you know, you have to have people to read it to give you more advice because, I mean, I've read that thing 100 times. I don't even know if it's good anymore. And that's why it's such a risk to like publish because you don't even know if it's good
So
because you've seen it so many times, and it was so reassuring to get all this great feedback from people who've read it.
so with as an actor, a director, a writer, whatever, who has ego, what's it like when you have a book that you think, hey, this is it, I like this, this is really really good, and they tell you to cut it down 32,000 words?
It's a kick in the balls, man. It's no joke. It's just part of the writing. It's part of the art. You kind of just have to lose your ego. You have to kill your darlings because those are like the favorite scenes that mean something to you specifically don't resonate with a lot of people. So a lot of those favorite scenes have to get cut. I mean, even favorite lines that I had, I thought they were hilarious, but they got to go. And you just have to trust the process. You know, eventually it ends up being okay, but your ego gets smashed right away.
Now, the party scene, and we all know about getting the ego smashed and trying to continue to move forward. Looking at the book first, before I ask you a couple questions about the book and Freeport and so on, why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about what the book's about?
Well, the book is about Eric Daniels, and he is the victim of a house fire. He lives in Iowa, but his house burns down. The house is also his dad's business. He lives with his dad. So after the fire, they have nowhere. They had nowhere to go. No, no money, nothing. And they end up in Freeport because they have some old family friends there. And this all happens within the first few pages. Um, the story starts when he starts to meet all the kids in Freeport. He meets Nate. Nate is the son of the family friend that's his age that has some history together, and Nate kind of introduces him to girls. Eric is very shy. He's kind of overweight. He doesn't know how to talk to girls. Doesn't have any experience. Nate kind of helps him along, gives him advice, and then things happen. Teenagers are teenagers. They turn on each other, and it starts to get really interesting. I mean, the people that you trust, you can't trust, and there's a lot of similar themes that are timeless because you know friends betray each other and they make up, and it's quite a journey.
Yeah, I mean the first kiss, and
Hmm.
those kind of things that take place in it. I have to,
First job, first lot of different first fist fight, things like that.
and you feel the angst. And one thing that you said, I don't know if I read this in the Journal Standard or I read it on Amazon or whatever. Tell me if I'm wrong. You made the comment that Just because bad things happen doesn't mean you're a bad person, or if you make bad decisions or something, it doesn't make you a bad person.
Exactly. Yep. Circumstantial morality. It's like what is good here might not work here, and you're kind of picking and choosing. And yeah, people make bad decisions all the time, but they're good people. I mean, I think that's the underlying one of the underlying themes of the book is that people are good. It's a hopeful book. I
Yes,
mean,
it is.
bad things happen, but everything comes out in the end. And
Now, the neat thing about it when I started reading it, and I had told you that because of some things I didn't get to finish it, but now that a friend of mine sent me an autographed copy,
yes.
that I can now finish it. But from where I did read it, the neat thing is looking at it and kind of thinking, I wonder if he meant, I wonder if this was to be this person, or I wonder if this was supposed to be that person. How many people in the book pop into your head as someone that you did meet in Freeport and that was a part of your life in Freeport?
A lot of them do. A lot of them do. And like that first draft, a lot of those characters were very similar to the people that inspired them. But then, you need to, as you develop the character, you need to, fictionalize it. And in the end, they're just composites of many different people.
Right.
A lot of the physical, physically though, there's certain appearance descriptions that are basically people I knew. Because I mean, that's the best way to describe somebody is to describe a real person. So, but other than that, I mean, they're very fictionalized.
Did a lot of your thought processes when writing it, did it, I know it brought back memories, but did it bring back visualizations of Freeport to you? Did it bring back your days in 94, 95, 96?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Crate Park is I miss that place. Like it really made me miss Freeport. A couple times I even got out of Google Maps and zoomed in to Street View to see like what these streets looked like, and the memory is way better than the Google Earth, but
Sure.
it was definitely a trip back into like parts of your brain that you forgot were there. All these memories.
So with all those memories and with the creation of the book and everything that takes place, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit to when you were in Freeport and when you were in
Mhm.
high school. Um, you went to University of Iowa and you did all these things, but uh, a lot of high school kids are going to be watching this. You're going to be looking at this. So I guess
Mhm.
what were your memories like? What were your memories like of Freeport High School and of Freeport in itself?
Um, I remember. I mean, the theater program was huge for me. It was a big confidence booster for me. I feel like the pass was the torch was passed from older kids down to me, and that really gave me a sense of pride. I was a very creative kid with the art classes too. Like if I didn't have a art project I was working on, or if I wasn't in a show, I didn't want to go to school. Um, I mean, it just wasn't that interesting. Um, but yeah, I mean, what I remember from school is mostly extracurricular stuff.
Yeah, and with everything that's going on now and kids not able to do extracurricular, everyone's trying so much to try and give kids things to do. And
Yeah, no, that's tough.
it is. Um, so I'm going to ask you one more thing about the book, and then we'll do a couple of fun things about Freeport and stuff. First of all, congratulations on being the number one new release.
Oh, thank you,
Now that took
thank
place,
you.
that take place in August or September?
That was in August. It was released the 20th of August, and it held that title for about a week.
Wow. So you get a certificate, you get a trophy, you get a mention, you get a bunch of social media stuff. What goes on?
Um, I did win an award that wasn't related to that. I won an award called the Literary Titan Gold Award.
Nice.
That was after a review. But the Amazon is pretty much that was just kind of like a sales tool for Amazon. I mean,
Cool.
it's a great accolade, but there weren't any certificates for that.
Okay. Yeah, it's
I
like,
don't know why.
yeah, why not? I mean, I want
Why
to sell
not?
books. I want to
Yeah.
put something on my wall.
Yeah, I
Okay.
sold you some books. Jeez.
So one last thing about the book, and then I want to kind of translate that into some advice that I want you to give some of our kids that are watching this. One of the sections that I read of your book, not only because of Dad and the fire and moving to Freeport, but there were many thought processes of starting over in many ways. And I guess with that, what do you have to say to kids that are going to college, that write, that act, that do art, that perform, that are not only going through what's going on now, but just from the high school prospect into college or into on their own? What advice do you have to give those kids from a performance aspect of what they need to do?
Well, like you said, I mean, starting over it's life. I mean, you have to start over. Everything you do, you have to start over. I mean, the first time you do something, it's gonna be awful, and you just have to, scrap it, start over. And each time you start over, you have all these things you learned from the first time you screwed it up to make it better the next time. I I don't know. I think that's what the one of the main lines in the book are all about, the starting over, because he loses his home, he loses a parent, but he just keeps rolling. Like, you got to keep going. You got to just get through it, because it'll start over. Like with COVID, I mean, it's gonna be over. We'll get to start over. You just got to get through it and keep going. And and like, if you're having a hard time in high school or having a hard time going to college or whatever, you got to reach out for your friends, ask for help. There's a lot of tight bonds that are formed in this book over just one summer. I mean, you can ask people for help, people that you barely know, and they'll help you out. I mean, everybody's going through the same thing, so you just gotta get through it together.
That's wonderful. For kids that are interested in writing, what do you suggest how they should prepare in order to get to the point where you're at?
Best thing to do is just journal. Like, I mean, it's very old fashioned, but just keep a diary. Try to write every day. Sometimes it's very therapeutic. Like, this book was very, very therapeutic to write, and to, just let it flow out of you. I lost my dad in high school, and this book kind of took me back to when he was still around. And I think writing is one of the most therapeutic things you can do, because it just gets all your thoughts out of here and puts them on paper. And then if you trust someone enough to let them read it, and then you can share and discuss, I mean, it's great therapy. So I would just say, if you're interested in writing, keep a journal, but maybe it's not a secret journal, let people read it. It's not like under lock and key.
Right.
I think those are therapeutic too, but I think it's even better after someone reads it, and then you can share experiences or whatever's bugging you.
All right. Well, just a couple more things for people you talked about Crate Park. What are some other, I mean, you've been in Boston now for 10 years, and, I know you have someone very special still here in Freeport. I know that.
Yep.
And So you know Freeport well. What are some favorite spots of yours when you come back to Freeport?
Well, you got to hit Maria's Pizza. You got you got to hit Union Dairy. I think the last time I ran into you was outside of there, the Debate Square. It's mostly food when I come back. I just because the pizza out here is no good, man. I mean, no offense, but
Yeah,
it just can't cut it.
No, Boston pizza. No. I'm not going to try seafood in Freeport, but I'm telling you, I'm going to try. I'm going to try it out in Boston and Cape Cod. True.
Yeah,
You're right. Pizza's it's soupy, it's icky.
yeah.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's mostly food. I mean, we go to Cray Park with the kids. It's great. I have young kids, so it's great to see them like reacting to all the cool stuff at Cray Park, take them on the paddle boats. And then seeing friends. I mean, I still have quite a few friends in Freeport, and it's great going down to the pub or whatever and running into people you haven't seen in a while. Because I miss that. I have a lot of anonymity here, but which is nice sometimes.
Sure.
But other times you miss your friends. So that's what Freeport's about for me, is just seeing old faces.
And you said something very interesting that I kind of want to end with. You said that, if somebody is having problems or searching out or needing some help, it doesn't matter if you know someone very well, that there's always someone that's there. And there's a small part of me that feels that's Freeport to a T. How you explain that?
No, Freeport people are the best. I mean, I originally titled the book Forget Freeport because it was being ironic, because it's unforgettable. I mean, you don't want to have irony in the title of a book because it sounds like a downer, and it's a hopeful book. So I changed it. But Freeport is an unforgettable town full of great people. I mean, this book wouldn't exist without Freeport. I love the place. I do. I miss it.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much. It was wonderful seeing you. This is weird since your mom lives in town, but tell your mom I said hi.
Yeah, I will. Thanks.
And okay, real quick, here's a quiz. Why do you remember why Heather, your sister, is so important to me? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, she subbed for you, like a long-term sub, right?
Right, when we adopted our first child from Colombia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Standley family's just everywhere. and I'll tell you, Lost in Yonkers, the play that you did, Lost in Yonkers, was and will always be one of my favorite shows ever. That play kicked.
That was good. That was quality stuff. I remember even the programs look. I mean, like a playbill.
we did everything, and I still have people that will criticize me left and right on things that I do, and will still say to me that was some of the most quality that they've seen on a stage in a long time. So thank you for being a part of that. Thank you for being a part of the program, for doing Art to Art, for this book and many other books. But more importantly, thank you for being a proud Pretzel and proud community of Freeport. Thank you so much. Ryan, could you please real quick, and then I'll put it in the YouTube. How can people check you out on Twitter or something like that? What do you have?
Yep. I'm at it's at Ryan P. Stanley. That's my Twitter, Instagram, and then Facebook is just Ryan. I think that's Ryan P. Stanley as well.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, we will put that out there. And thanks to everybody for watching. Thank you, Ryan, for being a part of our third Pretzel Pridecast.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, everybody.